Welcome, family. This to EWTN Live. I'm Father Mitch Pacwa, and we have a guest as we usually do on Wednesday. But before we introduce our guest, I just want to make a little mention, as you've been seeing throughout the day, not only today, but the last couple of days, we've been covering extensively the March for Life in Washington, the masses, and the various other activities which are going on. We're going to continue doing that because this issue of promoting life is something that is extremely important. And to me, it's been amazing to hear on the secular news such a different perspective. On one channel today, a couple channels in fact, heard just a little bit of news of people who were in favor of abortion, people against it. And this is a very basic decision for all of us. We need to realize that right now, we're at a time in our society when people are making a change. I think that the energy in favor of life is on the side of life, and that those who've been opposing it don't have the same energy that they used to have. And I think that the future very, very much can be a pro-life future for this country. But as you're hearing again and again throughout these days, it's going to take all of us making that kind of commitment to God first. And God because He's the author of life. And God who chooses to have life come about inside the context of family. This is His desire and His will. And that we are going to do everything we can to keep promoting that. And we're going to put the politicians' feet to the fires and everybody else's feet to the fire to get pro-life legislation and pro-family legislation and mentality and changes of heart to be at the very core of our values as an American society. So I hope that you are all with us on that, and we can continue that kind of work. And that very much relates to my guest and his topic for tonight. We have an old friend of the network, Father Robert Fox. He is the founder of the FatimaFamily Apostolate, and he's going to be here to talk to us about that family apostolate. So please welcome Father Robert Fox. Welcome.
Thank you, Father.
Good to have you here. Good to have you here. So, first of all, what are you up to these days? What are you doing?
What am I doing?
Yes.
I'm about to go 100% for the FatimaFamily Apostolate because as of July 1st, 2003, my bishop will relieve me of pastoral obligations, and I will be free to give 100% of my time to the FatimaFamily Apostolate, which means I will do even more writing than I have been doing.
Good.
I've already written over 50 books.
Good for you. And it's, one of the things about this is that you're kind of retiring.
Yeah.
But it's not really retirement to do nothing.
But the same week I received the letter from my bishop that I officially retire as a pastor, the Vatican came out with a 38-page document on the priesthood in which it said there is no such thing as a retired priest.
Yep.
I heard that some priests after they're retired do their best work.
Well, we can only hope. I know long before the Vatican said that, my provincial told the whole province, gentlemen, there's no retirement till you die, and God takes care of that. Until then, we got work to do.
Well, that's the way I understood when I was ordained, didn't you?
Exactly.
I would do the work of the priesthood until I dropped.
Right. And so relief from the obligations of the parish isn't going to mean that you sit around eating bonbons all day.
No, I have loved parish work. I have loved working with youth.
Yeah.
And not even knowing that I am going to be retired of pastoral duties, I have received more requests to give retreats, Diocese of Wichita, And you remember Father Anderson that was here from the Benedictine monastery that came out of France down in Oklahoma. Very, very real solid Benedictines.
Right.
They have asked me to give a 6-7 day retreat. I have a request for Detroit, a request to speak to the Rosary Rally in Brooklyn, to give a 9-day Rosary retreat to the Carmelites out in Buffalo, New York. These from people that didn't even know I was retiring. So now I'm going to be able to accept more invitations, and I have a suspicion I'm going to be working harder than I ever did before.
That's oftentimes the case with this so-called retirement. But again, it's not, like you, I couldn't imagine getting out of the priesthood to retire and sit around.
Do you know what my prayer has been for years?
I just couldn't.
That I will be able to offer the holy sacrifice of the Mass my last day on earth. That has been my prayer for years.
Well, from your mouth to God's ears. From your mouth to God's ears. Now, in this non-retirement retirement, this very much working retirement that you're about to undertake, what is it you want to do? What is it that you're looking forward to doing?
I want to bring souls to Jesus and to His Church, which I believe the fullness of true faith is in the Catholic Church. I hope that now I can give more time to the Fatima Family Apostolate that exists for the sanctification of the family. You know, we have wonderful diocesan family commissions and committees, whatever they all are, and most of them deal with problems. My apostolate exists so that the problems do not develop. And I was in the Fatima Apostolate for many, many years, going back.
And just in case somebody just dropped off the turnip truck, what is Fatima about? Just give a very brief explanation. What is Fatima?
I will say what every pope has said since 1930. Fatima is a reaffirmation of the Gospels. And it is profound. It's so profound, the theologians are still trying to explain it. It's so simple that children can understand it. Our Lady was a catechist at Fatima, and all of the basic doctrines, dogmas of Catholicism are reaffirmed in one way or another at Fatima. So it isn't just praying the Rosary, as important as that is. You know, when the Vatican wrote me, and I just about fell off my chair when that happened.
You mean you got a letter from Central Control?
Not from the Pope directly.
Oh, okay.
But
he's Mr. Big. Central Control is the staff.
From the Council of the Laity.
Okay.
And the Council of the Laity knew I had worked with various Fatima apostolates.
Yeah.
And encouraged me to form a Fatima apostolate of my own.
Yeah.
And I said, what does this mean? I couldn't believe it. And where should I go? How should I do it? What aspect?
Yeah.
It took me about 2 days of prayer to realize the greatest need today in the Church is the sanctification of the family. And if we get holy families, we will get holy priests, holy religious, holy bishops. And then the final vision of Fatima, during the miracle of the spinning of the sun, the Holy Family appeared. It's the only apparition that's been approved by the Church that the entire Holy Family appeared at one and the same time. And as you know, St. Joseph the Child Jesus beside Mary, the St. Joseph the Child Jesus blessing the world. The Bishop of Fatima has interpreted this as a heaven's call for holiness of the family. Fatima, family, it kind of rang a bell, went together. I said, Fatima Family Apostolate. And that is what I have worked on ever since.
All right. Now, one of the things, by the way, I like to mention in Pope John Paul's apostolic exhortation, in Latin it's called Familiaris Consortio, or in English, the role of the Christian family in the modern world. He says in paragraph 72, still within the church, which is a subject responsible for the pastoral care of the family. So the church is a subject in charge of pastoral care for the family. Mention should be made of the various groupings of members of the faithful, which the mystery of the Catholic Church in some measure is manifested and lived. So that he's encouraging this kind of an organization, and then this office for the family contacted you to do this. Now, what is it that you are going to be doing?
Well, that document you're holding about the family in the modern world is the Bible of the Fatima Family Apostolate. And I use that to write the charter of the Fatima Family Apostolate, which has been endorsed by the Pontifical Council of the Family. And it's families to families. You know, they feel so alone out there. And to support one another, meet together, pray together, study your religion together. So we have the whole structure set up in our charter, how they do it. We have all the tools. We have sufficient tools. By that, I mean videos, audio albums, books for education and formation from the age preschool to as long as you live. We have all the tools, and the Marian Manual that goes with the charter gives the structure of what they do when they meet, at a minimum of once a month. They pray together, and they study in between the meetings.
So you're talking about families having a meeting once a month. Now, and you don't mean just the nuclear family. You're talking about a number of families getting together, right?
Ideally, it would be 5, 6, 7 families.
Okay.
So that everybody can participate. And the children, that's called Mary's White League.
Who the children are called Mary's White League?
Yeah.
Why were they called that?
There existed in Italy the White Army, Mary's White Army. And I remember Cardinal Wright used to be in contact with me very, very often. He, you know, the Congregation for the Clergy. And he said, the word army, you know, he didn't think it had the right connotation today. And so I called it League. Mary's White League, the innocent children, because we have to get the children when they're very young to give them the foundation, the basis, and that's one of the most active parts of the Fatima Family Apostolate is Mary's White League.
And so you call them a White League because of their purity?
Their purity, their innocence.
And their innocence. Okay.
Their innocence. And I have parents who, well, in the Twin Cities.
And by the Twin Cities, you mean?
Minneapolis, St. Paul.
All right, good. Just
Don't
so
you call, don't you say
not
that
everybody's
down
from the north, you know.
Okay.
No, you're up from Dakota there, where it's kind of cold. Down here we want to.
Yeah, it was 5 below when I left. It's like spring down here.
Yes, I know. Because Twin Cities here can mean El Paso and Juarez, for all we know.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you get the right twins.
Well, in this one parish up in the Twin Cities, the pastor is very much for it. And they have up to 60 children after one of the Sunday Masses will meet. And the leaders are teaching the children, and the parents are waiting in the back to take their children home. But the leaders tell me the parents are also, in many cases, learning their Catholic faith for the first time. And then a lot of them...
By listening to what the kids are doing?
Listening to the teacher work with the little children. And there's real participation on the part of the children. And they're very proud of their children.
Oh, that's, of course.
And they meet in homes, too. Others meet, 2, 3, 4 families meet together in homes. But for the adult section, we have it for teenage section. We have it for young adults. We have it. My favorite is married Marian couples. We also have for senior citizens. We have mixed. So somebody can fit it. Mixed means mixed